What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So I want to go ahead and say this. You know, what's happening right now out here, the wildfires and all these type things that's going on. I want everybody to be safe. And even if you're not in California or nowhere near, be safe anyway, because it's just not something nobody should have to go through. And families being evacuated and things like that, it's just always sad because you don't want to, you never know who might have got hurt in the situation or got caught up in a situation. And, just watching, like it could be somebody's family, who's not that rich and something like that possibly. And if your house burnt down for some reason and you have nowhere to go and things like that, that's just very, very horrible situation to be in and a very horrible situation just in general. So, God bless everybody's going through that. But back to the regularly scheduled program, so to say. It looks like the Clippers really can't catch a break. Kawhi Leonard's going to step away from the team to tend to his family with the wildfires. And to me, it's totally understandable. I mean, I've been looking online and listening to some people with their short comments on YouTube saying about Kawhi Leonard stepping away from the team for a matter like this when he should be with the team. And I'm like, I guess you could look at it from both angles. Me, I just look at it from a little bit different angle. When your family is affected, your mental is not going to be there. And there's no way, like if your family is affected by something like this, you're not going to be able to focus on basketball. It's just the way it is. I mean, even JJ Redick, the coach of the Lakers, his family's got affected by the wildfires too. And he had to he's stepping away from the Lakers to attend to that. So it's like, and now they're talking about, the LA games. I think the next game, as far as like the Lakers, I believe, is the Lakers versus the Hornets, which is supposed to be in Crypto.com Arena, I believe. They're talking about, the NBA is actually talking about moving that game to another location, which is probably in Charlotte, possibly, and kind of go from there, because it's like the wildfires is just, it's really unattainable. It just kind of like happens sporadically, and it's like nobody can control it, and it's just a tough situation. So, I think a lot of fans out there, they want to criticize Kawhi Leonard for trying to help his family. I just think you're wrong. You're entitled to your own opinion. I respect anybody who has an opinion. I'm not saying that I would never, but at the same time, like, in a situation like that, you got to look at it a little bit more from a sympathetic standpoint and be a lot more optimistic, because if it was your family in a house that's burning down and you lost somebody, you wouldn't be worried about basketball either. You know what I mean? It just, it's like, and you never want to see that happen. And not even the fact of losing somebody. When people lose their house and everything they have, you know what I mean? It's just like I don't know. It could just do something to a person. Now, I know Kawhi Leonard has a lot of money and he can get his family in better places, better situations, but at the same time, who knows what happened? It could have been his house. It could have been one of his houses. It could have been a sister or a mother's house or something like that. We just don't know. But at the same time, I just don't really feel like he should get criticized for something like this. I mean, he gets criticized enough for injuries and things like that. But please believe Kawhi wants to play basketball. For a lot of people out there who say he doesn't want to play basketball, I think they're 100% wrong. 100% wrong for even saying something like that about this guy. This guy has always been a top player, always wanted to be the best. I mean, I can remember interviews where, other players talk about Kawhi and speaking on him that's played with him, teammates, where it's like Kawhi, before the playoffs, he watches nothing but Michael Jordan clips because he wants to be that great. He wants to be as great as he can be. You know what I mean? Like, this guy eats, sleeps, breathes basketball. So a lot of people out there who say he doesn't and all that stuff, they don't know. They just speak for Kawhi because Kawhi doesn't speak enough. So, I mean, I hate the fact that he's, going to be away from the team, but I truly understand the situation if it's something involving something like this, because, I mean, me hearing about wildfires here, I kind of get the chills sometimes because I think about some of my family members and where they live specifically and some of the locations that the wildfires have happened. Some of my family lives not too far off from those areas. Luckily where I'm at, not too bad. Nothing really has came much of it. But, regardless, it's just one of those situations that's very sensitive, very touchy, and I don't think nobody should really have any negative things to say towards a player or a coach, like JJ Redick, or a player like Kawhi, if they need to step away from the team to tend to family. Because when it comes to personal issues, it's almost like a person working a regular 9-to-5 job. You know what I mean? If you're working a 9-to-5 job and something goes wrong with your family, you're going to leave the job at the drop of a dime. You're going to go home and figure out what's going on with the family, tell your boss, and say, hey, I'll be back. And your boss, if he has any type of sensibility or any type of, sympatheticness in him or her, and, they're going to tell you, okay, go ahead and take care of your situation with your family, because family comes first. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where I understand some fans are going to be looking at things from a very, very odd standpoint, because Kawhi was already injured and he just came back for 2 games, and then now he might be out. He's not going to be out for an extensive period of time, I don't believe. You know what I mean? It's just that he's stepping away from the team for a second to attend to his family, and then he'll be right back with the team. At least he's not going out for another injury. At least he's going out for something that we know that's a serious thing. It's been a serious thing for the last couple of years. And, even more so, it looks like it's only getting worse with these wildfires. So, but as far as the Clippers, him coming back was an exciting thing. He hasn't played the greatest since he came back with limited minutes, because I don't think Kawhi's really ever going to play that great with limited minutes, because it just stops his flow and his rhythm of actually getting to where he wants to. But he'll ramp back up and get to the point where he needs to. And I think that a lot of Clippers fans need to just, not hold their breath and try to, they don't need to panic, in this situation of anything, as I said in my previous video that you could watch, because everything is going to work out. Kawhi is going to be back, once he gets things settled with his family. And this team is going to definitely try to push, for the better and go through this season and get to the playoffs and really try to make a run and go for that championship, and I just hope that Kawhi stays healthy. I believe he can stay healthy, and I believe that, he definitely wants to play basketball. So anybody out there questioning him, I think you should stop questioning his wantability of wanting to play, because he's proven that he definitely wants to play, and he's proven that he wants to be one of the best players to ever step on the floor. He's proven that by his actions, playing on one leg, winning a championship with Toronto, injuries he had in San Antonio, coming here to the Clippers, playing at a high level. Last year they said the same thing. Year before last said the same thing about Kawhi. They said the same thing about he didn't want to play. And then last year he played 68 games out of 82 games, and he looked like the best player in the league. So, it's like there's always negative surroundings around this guy. But, I think we got to, give him a little break on this one. He will be back, and I think he will help this team be a whole lot better. Now, it's going to be tough going into tonight's game, and going for, maybe the next few nights' games. But at the same time, the Clippers they've been very resilient. They really have. And, it's one of those situations where they'll be resilient again until he returns. And when he returns, I think they'll be able to find a way to, put everything together and really see what the team looks like all together for them to be able to make a run and make a very good season out of a season that a lot of people had questions going into. So let's just see what happens. And like I said, the Clippers are a very tight group, man. They really are. Like I said, they're a very tight group. They stick together. They play hard. And with or without a superstar, you're not going to walk all over them like a welcome mat. It's just not going to happen. So, I believe Kawhi will be back very quickly. And we're just going to kind of go from there and see what happens and keep the naysayers out our ears and just keep rooting for the Clippers and keep this thing going.